These are 3 reasons why I don't think anyone should ever own a dog.
Because in 1998, there was a woman who owned a dog, and she loved it, but she would give it baths and then dry it in the oven. I'm not joking, but this is where it gets crazy. She decided to buy herself a microwave oven. Yeah. And she dried her dog in it, and it exploded. Guts everywhere. Yeah, she was heartbroken. But this is what angers me the most. She decided to sue the microwave company because it didn't have a warning label on it for a huge amount of money. She won. She won.
There is a CIA document that explains how the world is going to end. It's called the Adam and Eve story, and a lot of it actually adds up. It claims that the world is going to end because the North and South Pole shift, and they do this every 12 to 15,000 years. Once it happens, it causes mass destruction, which creates the apocalypse. I'm talking huge tsunamis, earthquakes, and other huge cataclysms. Now, the document claims that humanity and civilizations have been reset numerous times due to these poles flipping, and it has a disturbing message that it will happen again. But this is where it gets crazy. Before I continue, it's the end of the world, and you and your second act are the last 2 people on Earth. Are you surviving or are you doomed? But anyways, this all makes sense, right? Noah's Ark, ancient texts speaking of great floods. Antarctica used to be a forest, and the Sahara Desert used to be all green. Why would the CIA even be discussing this topic? Why is no one talking about this mannequin and its creepy backstory? This is La Pascualita. The mannequin has been in the window of this Mexican bridal shop since the 1930s. Now look, mannequins weren't even that detailed back then. Customers noticed that you could see fingernails, eyebrow hairs, and veins on the mannequin. By the way, we're making a Reese's milkshake. Out of all 3 of these flavor ice creams, which one has to go? Vanilla, chocolate, or strawberry? Comment down below. I want to see if y'all got good taste or not. Now back to the story. Yo, this is where it gets crazy. The owner of the shop had a daughter named Pascuala, and in the 1930s, she was going to get married. So of course, being the owner of a bridal shop, the owner went all out for her daughter, buying her the best dress and setting up everything. Sadly, a scorpion had gotten the daughter's dress, and she sadly didn't survive the sting. People say the exact next day, a mannequin appeared at the front of the shop, and she looked strangely similar to the daughter. Even the dress looked similar. Aw, snap. Look at that. Woo, sweet baby diabetes. They believe the owner did not want to lose her daughter, so she dipped her in wax to preserve her forever. Do you think this is the shop owner's daughter? And make sure to hit that follow, because tomorrow's story is insane compared to this one. This was the last photo found on this phone. It was of Eyeless Jack. He's a flesh-eating killer with the craving for human. He'll appear in your room from just thinking about it. He's in a black hoodie, wearing a blue mask with huge eye openings. If you look inside, you'll realize he doesn't have any eyes, and his eye sockets have black liquid dripping from them. If you wake up in the middle of the night, you'll see him leaning over you. He can even disguise himself as objects in your room, like the clothing on your chair or sweater hanging off your door. A man named Mitch was attacked by Eyeless Jack years ago. He heard noises in his room, so he went upstairs to check it out. He ended up seeing nothing and decided to go to bed. The next morning, his brother found him with a huge gash on his cheek and rushed him to the hospital. When they got there, doctors realized that Mitch was missing a kidney. The night after that, while Mitch was in the hospital recovering overnight, Eyeless Jack came for the rest of him. When the nurse came into the room the next morning, they found nothing but Mitch's phone. And never say this out loud or you will die. There's a cursed Japanese poem called Tomino's Hell. And supposedly if you read it out loud, you will die or be cursed for life. Now you can read it in your head. This is where things get crazy. A man named Shuji Terayama decided to make and direct a movie based on the poem. Exactly 1 week after the release of the movie, he suddenly dropped dead. By the way, y'all, I asked y'all to name our new baby, and the highest voted name was Steve. So I guess when this guy hatches, his name will be Steve.
And since we got this baby together, you do owe me child support.
Now this other story is also crazy. There was a schoolgirl that was dared to say the poem out loud. Look, you got friends daring you to do stuff like that. You need to get rid of them. Literally 1 week after doing the dare, she suddenly dropped dead.
Woo, look at that, baby. Look at that. Sheesh.
I flashed a poem somewhere in this video, but I'm telling you, if you find it, don't read it out loud. Or I'm gonna come to your funeral and tell everybody you're stupid. You're stupid. The Hat Man. You've probably seen him in your dreams. He's one of the most common sleep paralysis demons in the entire world. You'll know when you're about to see him. When you suddenly wake up in the middle of the night, unable to move at all. Sweet grandma's booty. You'll feel like you can't breathe, like your chest is being crushed. There's nothing you can do at all. You can't even scream. And then the Hat Man arrives. Many professionals and doctors believe that he's a figment of your imagination and that he simply just doesn't exist. But there have been many cases of people dying in their sleep for unknown reasons. Yo, it is a hot, almost summer day here in Vegas, and this is so good. You just can't beat honeydew. Comment down below what's your favorite fruit to eat when the days are starting to get warm. One of the cases where the children have passed away in their sleep, this was the last photo in their phone. But police just chalked it up to that was him who took the photo of himself wearing a hat. And there's also this one of a group of women at their mother's funeral. Look behind them. And this one a man took late at night in his house when he was hearing noises near his door. He said there was nothing there in person, but on the phone it showed. How come nobody is talking about the man with the upside down smile? In the 1910s and the 1960s, he was often seen amongst crowd gatherings after tragedies like car accidents and house fires occurred. Now you'd see him in the photos of tragedies, but he was never actually seen by anybody on the scene. See this picture? It was at a New Year's Eve party. And right after that party, someone actually passed away. It's said that he always shows up near tragedies because he likes feeding off bad energy and trauma. But is he real? A man started noticing paranormal activity around his house. Lights flickering and furniture being thrown around. When he told his girlfriend, she told him to wait outside of the house. If you know me well enough, you know exactly what I'm about to say this tastes like. Comment down below. When he told his girlfriend, she wanted him to go outside and not go back in. But he wanted to get more footage because he thought somebody had broken in. This is what he caught.
The fourth or fifth time I had watched the video, I noticed something in the corner of the room, which is actually my daughter's room. So I screenshotted it and I just zoomed in on it. My heart just dropped. I could feel my face, all the blood in my face ran. I mean, it just...
Have you guys heard of the Night Lady? This all started in Chihuahua, Mexico, 2009. Residents started noticing something really disturbing. You see, now some of the children in the area were going missing. I gotta grab some food for this one. Look at this beautiful roll. Now with all the children around the area going missing, people started reporting seeing a woman. They said she would climb on the rooftops during the day, only to wait till night to sneak in through the window to snatch children. Police then sketched an image of what they believed to be the Night Lady. Only one child has been reported of actually escaping the Night Lady. You see, his parents had ran into the room and caught her just in time. She quickly then escaped and crawled out of the window. Wait, before I continue, let's say the Night Lady had taken you. Your third act has to come and save you. Who is it? Let me know who it is. Anyways, the kid that got away recounted waking up in the middle of the night and seeing the Night Lady standing over top of him just watching him. People have brushed this off as just one big hoax until after midnight, a teenage girl had captured this photo. This is supposedly the Night Lady. Let's talk about El Cibon, also known as the Whistler. He is a whispering spirit that roams Venezuela.
Muchos habitantes de los llanos cuentan haberlo visto. Dicen que el silbón puede aparecerse cerca de una casa ciertas noches.
It all started with a spoiled boy when he asked his father to bring home deer for dinner. But when his father came home, he was empty-handed. The little boy became so furious he took his father's life. But let me tell you, when the family found out, they didn't take too kind of this. The grandfather took the little boy, tied him up to a tree and whipped him. Then he began to rub chili peppers and alcohol on the boy's wounds. His grandfather didn't stop there though. He released 2 dogs on the little boy, and they chased him around while the grandfather cursed him to carry his sins on his back. The boy was also cursed to carry his father's remains in the bag and roam Venezuela. Before I continue, TikTok might go bye-bye soon. So just in case, I made a clapper. I'm loving it so far. It's like TikTok, but in the good old early days. I even created a storytellers group where we can share and talk about crazy stories. But back to the story. People around the area report seeing a tall, lanky man carrying bones. He whispers the same tune over and over. If you ever hear his whistle, you should run, or you'll be added to his bag next. Barking dogs are said to scare him off, because it reminds him of the day that he was cursed. What would you do if you saw El Cibon? Let's talk about Teke Teke. The legend goes there was a young girl who was an office worker in the military. She was then abused, and you know what, by American military men. Look at Milo. That night she leaped on a train track, causing the train to split her in half. Now she walks around and hunts the streets of Japan at night, unaliving everyone she meets in her way. I forgot the chia seeds and the flax seeds. By the way, guys, the reason you haven't seen Gizmo is because he died. Can we get RIP Gizmo in the chat? Comment below, what should we name our new baby? The highest voted name wins. Now she only has her upper half, so the name Teke Teke comes from when you hear her walking on the ground and her nails hit the ground. If you make eye contact with her, even if you escape, you are said to be cursed and will die in 3 days. That's some good stuff. It is said that if you also hear a story about her, you are also cursed. Shortly after hearing about the legend, she will come to you in a dream or a random phone call and ask you a riddle. If you answer right, she might leave you alone. But if you answer wrong, she will come for you next. Let's talk about this picture. It centers around Mr. and Mrs. Dubois. They were some of the town of Hackenshaw's favorite neighbors, but they had a dark side to them. But first, we're gonna enjoy some pizza. This is like my favorite pizza. It's from Marco's Pizza. Reminds me of Jersey because I'm from Jersey. You see, they were kind to everyone. Even invited people who just moved into town for dinners. They would also have the best decorations for holidays as well. Their house would always win the contest for best decorated in the town. People just loved their Christmas lights and their Halloween decorations. In the beginning of October 1876, they started throwing parties for the kids. All the kids from around the town would come, even from outside the town. It was fun. They played games, they ate candy, and everyone just had a good time. But out of the 20 kids that came over that night, about 4 went missing. And after about 3 weeks of searching, the case went slow and they gave up. Halloween finally came around, and the contest for the best decorations, of course, went to the Dubois. That night while trick-or-treating, one of the boys in town named Sam went up to one of the decorations. When he grabbed the mask off, he realized it was one of the children who went missing. The child was stuffed and put on display in front of the yard as a decoration. The Dubois, who saw this and not wanting to get caught, grabbed the little kid inside, adding him to their collection. No one suspected a thing because the Dubois was so kind and nice to everyone. It wasn't until years later on their deathbed that they admitted at throwing parties every year to steal a child or 3 and tell police that they could find all the missing children in their basement. The reason they did it was because they needed decorations realistic enough so they could always win those contests. I just went on the worst date last night. It just got weirder and weirder by the night. So I met this girl on Tinder. I'm thinking first date Dave & Buster's. It's a great date to like break the ice. By the way, comment below if you're single or taken. I want to see how many people are team single. So at first we playing games like the basketball shooting game, air hockey. Mind you, this girl is buns. I'm beating her and everything. So she started getting mad at me. I'm going home because you're ruining my fun. You would think she was joking. She wasn't joking. So you mad at me because you're shooting at imaginary nets instead of the one in front of your face? So we get a little tipsy and she offers to go back to her house. We get to her crib, open up a bottle of wine. I'm like, okay, we about to make some peanut butter and jelly. You know what I'm saying? We start doing the thing, kissing. That's how I eat the booty. So yeah, we kissing, we touching. But here's where things start getting a little too weird for your boy. She tells me to bite her neck. I'm like, okay. Tells me harder. Then she goes harder. I'm like, okay. I don't want to hurt you here. She gets up, goes to her drawer, and I kid you not, grabs false teeth and grabs a little tube of like fake blood. What in the twilight is going on here? She asked me, can I wear them? Bite her with them, acting like I'm a vampire. I'm down to try new things. I'm not against it. I put them in. I do it again. She goes again. More. When are we getting to the peanut butter and jelly? This isn't fun for me. I'm not over here like, I want to suck your blood. There's only so much fake blood I can take before I start getting queasy. So before I get to throwing up, I tell her I gotta get home to feed my dog. Mind you, we never peanut butter and jelly. It was like she just wanted that all night. I went home, I blocked the number. Let me know if I'm tripping.
You should be scared to meet people you talk to online. Blanca Erano was a 51-year-old Mexican woman who met a Peruvian man named Juan Villafuerte on an online gaming app. On the last day of October, she traveled 3,000 miles to see him. This was in Lima, Peru. She thought they would live happily ever after together. They were staying in the beach city of Huacho, where Villafuerte lived. Blanca thought the relationship was going well and that she was in love. Then she suddenly went silent. Her family suspected something was wrong after not being able to contact her for some time and reached out to Juan, who said that she got bored of him and left him alone. He said that she took a plane ticket back to Mexico because he could not provide the life that she wanted. But what I'm about to tell you is much darker than that. Because on November 10th, the Peruvian police found fingers on the beach. They also found a faceless head and a torso with no heart or lung or anything in it. But they could tell it was Bianca because the family verified that the ring on the finger they found was hers. Juan was arrested but the crazy part is he posted on TikTok. Yes, TikTok, before being arrested. If you ever don't want to end up in this situation, you should always use publicdatacheck.com, because I use it all the time before I go on dates, because people are crazy nowadays and you never know what they're hiding. It allows you to do a background report on anyone that you meet or want to know more about. It even has a reverse phone lookup for numbers that keep hitting you up that aren't in your contacts. So check it out, publicdatacheck.com. What story should I cover next? Comment down below.
This story makes me never want to go on vacation again. Thomas' family were on an island vacation, enjoying their time as a family. Everything seemed like it was going well. They were having a great time. There were literally no complaints. Until one night, one of their daughters strangely goes missing. They looked everywhere, but no one could find her. This is where things start to get a little crazy. You see, her body was found floating near a waterfall, and the resort workers were said to have been blamed for what happened. Oh, but check this out. Years later, the younger sister runs into one of the men who were blamed for what happened to her sister. You won't believe what happened next. To find out more, you have to tune in to the Hulu original series, Saint X. That is the plot of the story, and the ending will blow your minds. To see what happens, tune in to Saint X, now streaming on Hulu. Are mermaids real?
Let's get out of here quick.
I mean, why have there been so many depictions of them in ancient cultures? There have been underwater civilizations found, and even tools and spears under the ocean to hide the booty. But could that just be from sunken ships and flooded cities, or mermaids? By the way, y'all, TikTok might be going bye-bye soon. So just in case, meet me at Clapper. I'm loving it so far. It's like TikTok, but the good old days. It's been easy to grow and build a community. I even created a storytellers group where we can share and talk about stories. But back to the story. Some people believe in the aquatic ape theory, where when apes started evolving into humans, the ones that lived on mainly fish and were mainly by the ocean and lakes evolved into like half hybrid, half fishes. I mean, it is possible. Whales evolved from mammals to sea creatures, and some humans strangely have webbed feet and toes. Some of us can also breathe underwater for a record 20 minutes. So what do you think? Are mermaids real or fake?
Why is no one talking about what happened to this couple? They were abandoned on their snorkeling trip on their Hawaiian honeymoon. So yeah, they decided to go snorkeling, right? So they went on a tour. They had an hour to go swimming with 42 other passengers and see the little fishies. While snorkeling, they got a little washed away from the waves. So they were far from the boat. When they go to look for the boat to get back on, they realize the boat is gone. They've already been left. They were forced to swim 2 hours to find land. And when they found land, they wrote a big help me sign on the sand. Their attorney stated that if they were older and not as fit as they were, they wouldn't have made it. I can tell you, I wouldn't have made it. They are now suing the company for $5 million. But the company claims they did a head count. It was just everybody on the boat was moving around too much. Somebody emailed me and said they found real proof of mermaids. Let's watch together. What the hell? Bro. What do y'all think, real or fake?
This This woman took the life of her children, but would you say it was her fault? At the end of last January, Lindsay Clancy had asked her husband, Patrick, to go to this restaurant and pick up dinner for the night. The restaurant was right by the house, so he went, but when he returned, he realized the house was quiet. Mind you, they had a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 7-month-old. When he started looking for the family, he noticed the window was open. He looked out the window and saw Lindsay on the ground. She had tried to unalive herself, but she was still alive. Patrick, who was confused, snapped back into reality and started searching for his children. That's when he discovered all 3 in the basement. Lindsay had used an exercise cord on them. They didn't make it. Lindsay's defense lawyer says that she was suffering from postpartum psychosis, which I never even knew was a thing. An expert said that in severe episodes, women can break completely from reality and warns women who are a few weeks postpartum to be aware of the symptoms, which is usually having hallucinations. Now look, Lindsay is still being charged for what she did. She is awaiting her sentencing. But get this, she's also currently paralyzed from the waist down from jumping out the window. Security guard gave 2 kids balloons and even talked to them. But were they ghosts? Let's watch together. And look at the balloons. They're just following him. And he's talking to them. Yo, that's crazy. Real or fake? Why is nobody talking about this photo? See, in Southeast Asia, there was a giant sinkhole that researchers noticed had its own ecosystem. I mean, inside it had its own body of water, its own clouds, rivers, lakes. It had a self-sustaining atmosphere. Don't mind these, I was just fixing my car. Let me get rid of them for you. Pretty good. So a team of explorers got funded to go and search the sinkhole. They were mainly looking for prehistoric plants so they can use for medicine and further research. But what they found was even crazier. They found never before seen animals that were out of this world. I'm talking crustaceans, reptiles, mammals, all throughout the voyage. Everything seemed to be going smooth until it didn't, because this is where it gets scary. The team had stopped reporting to the research lab. They were supposed to be sending back updates every couple of hours of what they found. They were only supposed to be down there for 7 days, but turned up missing for 2 weeks. That's double time of what they were funded for. When the rescue team was sent to go search and find them, they found clothes and tents that were ripped to shreds. Traces of blood were also found on the ground. When checking the camera equipment, they found all the new species that the explorers had taken pictures of. But the last image on one of the cameras was this photo. But before I continue, you and your third app see this creature in the woods. Your third app says, "Don't worry, I'll protect us." Let me know who it is, and let me know if you believe you're safe or doomed with them on your side. But from the picture, scientists concluded that it is bigger, stronger, and possibly faster than us. And their worry is that there might be more of these, and the sinkhole allowed them to escape and be released into the outside world. This photo scares me. Last month, a Reddit user posted this photo of his kitchen online. He did this after hearing strange noises for over 3 years. I don't know about y'all, but somebody that looks like me would have been out. Now be honest, can you see something in the photo? Because I couldn't at first. Until one of the users brightened the photo and saw this. What do you guys think it is? Matter of fact, don't answer that question because I know you guys too well. I swear, if one of you say Keanu Reeves or Jared Leto, I am gonna come to your house and eat all your food out of your kitchen. Y'all never take anything serious. Anyways, this is the scary part. This is actually a video he took while in his apartment. Check it out. There's also a brightened version. Honestly, I would have moved. It's time to move. Would you move or would you stay? Let me know, because I would have got out of there. Let's talk about this picture. This is why if I ever have kids, I'll never let them use the bathroom alone. A 7-year-old girl and her mom were headed to Target, and she was getting some clothes for school. Her mom also wanted to grab some snacks for movie night. So while her mom went to go grab popcorn and other snacks, she told her daughter to go pick out clothes for school. When her daughter finally finished and picked out the clothes, she went up to her mom and said something strange happened. A sad pale lady had came up to her, telling her that she wished she could have her own daughter that looked just like her. The mom, who thought the daughter was just joking around, laughed it off and said, "Let's go." While heading to the register, the daughter shook her mom and said, "That's the lady who told me she wanted a daughter just like me," pointing at a mannequin. The mom laughed, thinking the daughter was still being silly. You know how kids like had wild imaginations, always playing around. While at the register, the daughter had to go to the bathroom. So the mom told her to hurry up. It was only a couple hours down, by the way. While in the bathroom, the daughter texted the mom saying the pale lady's in here who wanted a daughter. The mom, trying to get in a rush back home to her other kids, said, hurry up, we have to go. Stop playing around. 10 minutes later, and the daughter never came out. The mother, who was waiting outside the bathroom at this time, rushes in the bathroom to see what the heck is going on. The daughter was nowhere to be found. She even checked the stalls to see if her daughter was hiding, standing on a toilet or something. On one of the stalls, she found her daughter's cell phone on the floor. By the way, if you made it this far in the video, comment down below your favorite fruit. Mine is mangoes. When she checked her phone, this was the last image found in it. Police still to this day have no explanation on what happened to that little girl. This is a siren. Of course you can't tell though, because they'll make themselves look beautiful to keep you from being frightened. But their real face can only be seen in a mirror. They will sing to you, putting you in an uncontrollable trance that lures you right into the ocean. And once they get a hold of you, they force you deep down into the depths of the ocean and nothing but darkness, able to keep you alive and breathing underwater. You will forever be their prisoner. Now that's nightmare fuel. You see, sailors would crash their boats and die because of this, so they started putting wax in their ears to protect themselves. Now this is where it gets weird. A TikToker by the name of Sauce90 seems to have caught one singing on tape.
Can you hear me? Yo, that shit was instantaneous, bro. Where are you? Oh, that's over here. Wait, no, now it's there.
And when he supposedly found a bone of a siren, he brought it to experts that simply didn't know what it was.
Got a call back from the Whaling Museum, and they had an expert there who was willing to talk to me about the bone that I had found. He was there taking a whole bunch of photos, measuring the thing, emailing certain other people that he knows who might have other insight on it.
Tastes like your mama's booty. What do you think? Are sirens real? Let's talk about the Goat Man. He's located in Poplick, Kentucky. Some people say he's a science experiment that was going horribly wrong, and he decided to become a circus freak. That's how I eat your mom's booty. Others believe he was a farmer who tortured his goats for Satan and was cursed into becoming a goat monster. Speaking of, if you were cursed to become any half animal, what animal would you be? Me personally, I'd probably be a half eagle, because your boy would want to fly. He's said to live under the bridge of Poplick, and when he comes around, there's said to be a stench of decaying flesh. He said to lure people near the train tracks and watch them get hit by trains. Now this is where things really get scary. But before I tell you, update on Gizmo. You guys remember in my Slender Man video, we voted on naming my Tamagotchi Gizmo. Points to whoever can notice something different about our child Gizmo. Back to the scary part. In 2016, there was a 26-year-old Ohio woman. She went to the bridge looking for the Goat Man. By the way, guys, we're making Connie salad. I got this recipe from Winnie Hayes. Didn't use all her ingredients, but I used what I could. I think it came out good. Anyways, while looking for the Goat Man, the 26-year-old ended up getting hit by a train and falling off the bridge. Some people believe that this was one big accident. But come on now, I told you guys the Goat Man loves pushing people in front of trains. Oh my gosh, look at that. Woo! That is so good. People believe that she did end up finding the Goat Man, and that her falling off that bridge and getting hit by a train was no accident. It was him all along. I'm not trying to scare you, but this is terrifying. Remember when I said they were creating dragons in my past video? Well, now a lab funded by the same company has taken the DNA from a Nodosaurus that was found in Canada back in 2011. It had been preserved in ice for 110 million years. It had scales, claws, skin, all that still intact. Now to test things out, they started injecting small bits of DNA into pigeon eggs. And the pigeons started to grow strands of dinosaur features, like longer legs, and they started becoming bigger. Check this video out. Oh, but it didn't stop there. They started to experiment on baby chick embryos, and dinosaur-like creatures started to hatch from the eggs. Some even grew deformities, like this one right here, which grew no legs. Now this is where it gets scary. But before I even tell you, when you keep one of these as a pet, imagine you're given one by a scientist to take care of. Your third act has to co-parent with you. Let me know who it is and tell me, would the baby dinosaur survive with them co-parenting, or is it doomed? Back to the story. They found out that the dinosaurs grew to full adults by around 2 to 3 months because it still had chicken DNA, and chickens grow to full adults after 45 days. One of the adult dinosaurs ate its caretaker. The company that funded the lab doesn't care and is proceeding to build a zoo where families can come in and see the adult dinosaurs. If a masked woman in Japan asks you if she's beautiful, be careful how you respond. It could be Kuchisake Onna. Some people call her the slit-mouthed woman. She was abused and mutilated during her lifetime. It's said that her husband cut a smile on his face from ear to ear. She now haunts the streets of Japan wearing a mask and rusty scissors, asking people one question: if they think she's beautiful or not.
You think I'm beautiful? Do you still think I'm beautiful?
What happened to you?
Comment down below, smash or pass. By the way, a lot of y'all keep asking how's Gizmo. He is 14 years old now. Let's give him a biggie. Oh, you look at the biggie. If you encounter her, please be careful how you answer her question. If you say yes, she'll take her mask off and ask you again. And if you say yes one more time, she'll cut you a smile on your face just like hers. Oh, and if you say no, she'll unalive you right there and then. So what do? How do you survive? 1,000 IQ right here. Tell her she aight. I mean, girl, you aight. You know what I'm saying? You cool. Like, I smash, but can we put a bag over your face? The other way to survive is to throw money at her, which she'll stop to pick up, giving you enough time to run away. My lord, this smoothie is unequivocally f***ing butsang. Why is no one talking about the dark backstory of the Kappa? The Kappa are a feared yokai in Japanese culture. They would attack people that come near their territory, mainly children, women, and fishermen. They were strong beings that used the water on top of their head to get their powers. But there's actually a dark story behind this tale. You see, in ancient Japan, poor families who had newborn babies couldn't afford to take care of them. So they would throw them in the river, and you know them. They then would float down the river and decay and turn all green. This is supposedly the best way to cut watermelon. Definitely make things much easier and less messy. So when kids used to play by the river, they used to see the green decaying, you know, and be like, Mom, Dad, what the heck is that? So rather than explaining what it actually was to children, the families thought of a lie, telling them that it was a monster called the Kappa, and told them that it would drag them in the river and take them away forever if they went near it. This would keep the kids away from the river and discovering more of the babies.